Thank you for joining me for the next session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind. It's been 50 years since I graduated from college. My university calls the 50-year plus alumni old guard. There are other things that uh, the younger alumni call us, but 50 years is still a long time. My university planned some festivities since I live in the area and it's easy to go, nor is it very expensive. I'd like to give it a try. As they present our class in various ways, I'm taken aback by how few people I knew. First, they listed the obits, uh, and I knew some, including my freshman roommate. Then they listed people who were coming or who said they were coming. I was on the list, but I'm kind of iffy. I did not know too many other people on the list. They also put out a request for updating contact information on people who slipped under the radar of the alumni office. I knew a few of those, one very well. In fact, the one that I knew I had seen since graduation. He had come as my guest to speak at my synagogue quite a number of years ago. And apparently he still lives in the same place. I was able to find by a Google search some things about him, including where he lived and some of his hobbies, but was not very helpful at updating an email. And then they listed uh, little mini bios that we were able to post. We had some very distinguished alumni. I'm a competent alumnus, but not an enormously distinguished one. Though even among the people of prominence, it is more private wealth than public fame. People became upper tier physicians, were partners in big law firms, had significant roles in their corporations, though not the CEO. No household names, but people of what seemed to be very significant title. So that is our class. I knew very few of them. There were about 1,800 in the class. Uh, we were not very cohesive. You lived with a certain group of people, went to classes with a certain group of people. Then by sophomore year, there was more flexibility in where you live. Some people joined fraternities, others got upperclassmen housing. I stayed in the freshman quad all 4 years with a different roommate each year. The fraternity people would have stayed with each other, but everybody else probably just got a handful of friends. Our classes changed. Uh, they got smaller, but they were also not restricted to your major. So, as a chemistry major, I could take history courses or an astronomy course or things outside my major. Those classes would be populated by people from other majors, including those majoring in the subject being taught. That's very different from my high school and my medical school classes, where we remained pretty cohesive. Starting in seventh grade, we assembled our class from a variety of elementary schools. And once we did that, we tended to move together. So, of the 400 or so people in my high school class, I knew the vast majority by name. Uh, some were in my academic classes and remained that way for all the years of high school. Some were in no classes with me, but rode the school bus every day for a number of years. Other people were on a sports team. I was not. And the people who were on the sports team one year would renew that until they were seniors. So we were pretty cohesive. You knew everybody. Same thing with medical school. We had a class of about 150. The people you knew best were probably the people whose names were alphabetized close to yours, since you were often assigned lab space or other activities apportioned by name. For the first 2 years, everybody took the same classes pretty much. And then after that, our class divided in half. One half would take required rotations in medicine and surgery together. The other half of the class would take rotations in OB pediatrics and psychiatry, and then we would switch at the end of 6 months. So you moved along with other people until the senior year, when your individual choice became more prominent, but still you learned who everybody was those previous 3 years. Not so with college. With college, you have more individualism and entropy. So when 50 years comes around, the sum total of people that you knew from your 1,800 member college class is a lot less than the sum total of people you knew from your 400 member high school class or 150 member medical school class. Still, I'd like to go. Maybe I will run into some people I recognize. Thanks so much for joining me for this session of Dr. Plotzker's Mind.